with our normal announcements slash logistical housekeeping. So thanks for joining us this morning on this beautiful Sunday. Just a reminder to keep your mics muted. You may have to hang with Ananda there throughout the service and our discussion, unless you are speaking. So for those of you who are new here, welcome to Psanctuary. This is our Sunday service. We have every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We follow a pretty typical, standard format. We do 2 readings. Right now we read from the Tao Te Ching, which is our church's text that we will always be reading from. So we just cycle through the chapters. And then we are reading from The Science of Being Great by Wallace Wattles. So we'll be picking new books and cycling through new books for discussion. We're almost to the end of this book. We also have meditation and journaling. So now's a good time to grab a journal if you want to participate in the journaling, which I highly recommend. And following the service, so that's about 30 minutes, we have discussion for about an hour and a half, led by Eric today. Just a reminder that Psanctuary is run on donations. So if you're able to, please consider donating to us. You can do that through our website. We also accept a variety of different kinds of in-kind donations. So if you have any ideas, reach out to us and we can talk about that. Let's see. Our website's a great place to learn a lot about us. We have a really big vision for Psanctuary, totally revolving around community. And right now we're really focusing on trying to find a property where we can have sacramental services and community gatherings there. We also have a school as a part of our vision, and we have permaculture and mushroom cultivation and all kinds of really amazing things. So you can read more about that on psanctuary.org. If you have any questions about sacramental services, reach out to us. If you're a member with us, you can also see our upcoming sacramental services we have available on your member portal, which is run through Kajabi. So if you have any questions about that, reach out to us. We are excited to be offering our first sacramental group service in late October. So without further ado, get comfortable and we will begin our service now. Thank you for coming today, and I hope you can stay for discussion. If not, have an awesome week. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney. Again, just welcome and thank you everybody for joining us today with our Psanctuary community and celebration. As we begin our statement of faith, we recognize that the statement does not exhaust the full extent of our faith. We believe that sacred mushrooms are the primary source of personal and divine revelation. We seek counsel from the mushroom to find direction and inspiration in our faith practice. And we believe that all individuals who seek true revelation from divinity can do so. If you're joining us on your phone, we do offer slides to read along, and you can just swipe left to view those. And we will get started as we do every service, getting grounded into this space, recognizing our intentions, what brought us here today, thanking ourselves for showing up, thanking our community for showing up. We'll just take this time to put our energy toward each other and our loved ones. If you'd like to take a deep inhale and exhale, I invite you to take another deep inhale, exhale, find yourself in space, each other, with yourself. And we will go into our first reading with Courtney.
The Science of Being Great, Chapter 21. The purpose of mental exercises must not be misunderstood. There is no virtue in charms or formulated strings of words. There is no shortcut to development by repeating prayers or incantations. A mental exercise is an exercise, not in repeating words, but in the thinking of certain thoughts. The phrases that we repeatedly hear become convictions. As Goethe says, and the thoughts that we repeatedly think become habitual and make us what we are. The purpose in taking a mental exercise is that you may think certain thoughts repeatedly until you form a habit of thinking them. Then they will be your thoughts all the time. Taken in the right way and with an understanding of their purpose, mental exercises are of great value, but taken as most people take them, they are worse than useless. The thoughts embodied in the following exercise are the ones you want to think. You should take the exercise once or twice daily, but you should think the thoughts continuously. That is, do not think them twice a day for a stated time and then forget them until it is time to take the exercise again. This exercise is to impress you with the material for continuous thought. Take a time when you have from 20 minutes to half an hour secure from interruption, and proceed first to make yourself physically comfortable. Lie at ease in a Morris chair or on a couch or in bed. It is best to lie flat on your back. If you have no other time, take the exercise on going to bed at night and before rising in the morning. First, let your attention travel over your body from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, relaxing every muscle as you go. Relax completely. And next, get physical and other ills off your mind. Let the attention pass down the spinal cord and out over the nerves to the extremities. And as you do so, think, my nerves are in perfect order all over my body. They obey my will, and I have great nerve force. Next, bring your attention to the lungs and think, I am breathing deeply and quietly, and the air goes into every cell of my lungs, which are in perfect condition. My blood is purified and made clean. Next to the heart. My heart is beating strongly and steadily, and my circulation is perfect, even to the extremities. Next to the digestive system. My stomach and bowels perform their work perfectly. My food is digested and assimilated, and my body rebuilt and nourished. My liver, kidneys, and bladder each perform their several functions without pain or strain. I am perfectly well. My body is resting, my mind is quiet, and my soul is at peace. I have no anxiety about financial or other makers. God, who is within me, is also in all things I want, impelling them toward me. All that I want is already given to me. I have no anxiety about my health, for I am perfectly well. I have no worry or fear, whatever. I rise above all temptation to moral evil. I cast out all greed, selfishness, and narrow personal ambition. I do not hold envy, malice, or enmity toward any living soul. I will follow no course of action which is not in accord with my highest ideals. I am right, and I will do right. Viewpoint. All is right with the world. It is perfect and advancing to completion. I will contemplate the facts of social, political, and industrial life only from this high viewpoint. Behold, it is all very good. I will see all human beings, all my acquaintances, friends, neighbors, and the members of my own household in the same way. They are all good. Nothing is wrong with the universe. Nothing can be wrong but my own personal attitude, and henceforth I keep that right. My whole trust is in God. Consecration. I will obey my soul and be true to that within me that is highest. I will search within for the pure idea of right in all things, and when I find it, I will express it in my outward life. I will abandon everything I have outgrown for the best I can think. I will have the highest thoughts concerning all my relationships, and my manner and action shall express these thoughts. I surrender my body to be ruled by my mind. I yield my mind to the dominion of my soul, and I give my soul to the guidance of God. Identification. There is but one substance and source, and of that I am made, and with it I am one. It is God. I proceeded forth and came from it. God and I are one, and God is greater than I, and I do God's will. I surrender myself to conscious unity with pure spirit. There is but one, and that one is everywhere. I am one with the eternal consciousness. Idealization. Form a mental picture of yourself as you want to be, and at the greatest height your imagination can picture, dwell upon this for some little time, holding the thought. This is what I really am. It is a picture of my own perfect and advancing to completion. I will contemplate the facts of social, political, and industrial life only from this high viewpoint. Behold, it is all very good. I will see human beings, all my acquaintances, friends, neighbors, and the members of my own household in the same way. They are all good. Nothing is wrong with the universe. Nothing can be wrong but my own personal attitude, and henceforth I keep that right. My whole trust is in God. Realization. I appropriate to myself the power to become what I want to be and to do what I want to do. I exercise creative energy. All the power there is mine. I will arise and go forth with power and perfect confidence. I will do mighty works in the strength of God. I will trust and not fear, for God is with me. Thank you.
Thanks, Courtney. We will now go into our Litany of Gratitude. I invite you to unmute your mics at this time if you'd like, and join me when we say, we live in all things live in us. So I'll give you a moment to unmute if you'd like. We live by the sun, we feel by the moon, we move by the stars. We live in all things. All things live in us. We eat from the earth. We drink from the rain. We breathe of the air. We live in all things. All things live in us. We call to each other. We listen to each other. Our hearts deepen with love and compassion. We live in all things. All things live in us. We depend on the trees and animals. We depend on the earth. Our minds open with wisdom and insight. We live in all things. All things live in us. We dedicate our practice to others. We include all forms of life. We celebrate the joy of living and dying. We live in all things. All things live in us. We are full of life. We are full of death. We are grateful for all beings and companions. All right, I invite you to mute your mics. We will continue on to our next reading with the help of Kevin.
Thank you, Athena. It lies in the nature of grand virtue to follow the Tao and the Tao alone. Now, what is the Tao? Is it something elusive and evasive and elusive? And yet it comes within itself a form, elusive and evasive, and yet it contains within itself a substance, shadowy and dim, and yet it contains within itself a core of vitality. The core of vitality is real. It contains within itself an unfailing sincerity. Throughout the ages, its name has been preserved in order to recall the beginning of all things. How do I know the way of all things at the beginning? By what is within me.
Thanks, Kevin. And we'll take the next 5 minutes to reflect on what came up for us during those readings. If you have your journal, now's a great time. If you'd like to just take your mind's eye, and we have some journal prompts. How can these readings be viewed through the lens of the sacred mushroom? And how can these readings be applied to everyday life? We'll begin that time now. point, if you'd like to finish up your thoughts, come back to the space, and we will close out our service portion today, recognizing that we've all come together with intentions of service to the land and all its inhabitants. It is in our hearts to go forth into the world with collective consciousness. We encourage you to stay for continued fellowship and conversation around our readings today. And for those unable to stay, thank you for being with us. And I will end our recording